Some women catch your eye, and some women stay in your mind long after they've left the room. Linda Wright is that second kind. When she enters a space, something quietly rearranges itself around her. There's no spectacle, no performance. It's more like this deep, unhurried confidence that radiates from someone who has stopped questioning who she is and simply let her clothes reflect that certainty. She's 77, she's called Paris home for more than 4 decades, and her relationship with getting dressed has far less to do with fashion than it does with intention. She approaches her closet the way a sculptor approaches raw stone. Every cut is deliberate, every surface is earned, and what gets carved away is every bit as meaningful as what remains. Today, I'm walking you through 5 style lessons from Linda that I believe could reshape how you see your own wardrobe. And the 5th one caught me off guard because it barely involves clothing at all. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Parker Holloway, and today we're exploring the style of a woman I've been fascinated by for years. Linda Wright is a Texas-born former model who relocated to Paris in 1978 and never came back. She owns a cherished cashmere boutique called Crimson, and she has assembled one of the most stunning wardrobes I've ever come across, built entirely from the simplest ingredients. Let's dive in. Number 1. Anchor your closet around 5 essential pieces and leave it at that. This is the thing about Linda that captivates me most. The majority of us are staring at overflowing closets and still feeling like we have nothing to put on. Linda keeps a modest wardrobe and consistently looks remarkable. Her everyday rotation breaks down into 5 groups: exceptional cashmere knitwear, perfectly broken-in jeans, gorgeous scarves, wonderful shoes, and 1 or 2 standout jackets, nothing more. She said it herself that jeans form the backbone of her weekly dressing, along with an endless rotation of shoes, scarves, tees, and cashmere. And she says, add a pair of earrings, and that's it. She's ready. Here's what strikes me about that. Most women hear capsule wardrobe advice and immediately picture buying 30 items off some internet checklist. Linda does it differently. Her approach isn't about copying somebody else's system. It's about noticing what you genuinely grab for morning after morning, and then pouring real investment into those things. If your hand always goes to jeans and a cozy knit, then quit accumulating dresses that hang untouched and go find the most exquisite cashmere sweater within your reach. That's how Linda operates, and the results speak for themselves. And just so you know, when we arrive at Lesson 5, I'll reveal how this stripped-back philosophy ties into something far more profound than appearance. Number 2. Put your money into fabric, not names. This one shifted my entire perspective on shopping. Linda runs a cashmere boutique, and she sources her fibers from a Scottish mill. Logos and designer labels hold no power over her. What matters to her is how a material feels against your skin, and how it drapes when you move, and how gracefully it wears over the years. She'll throw a bespoke velvet jacket from Henry Poole on Savile Row over vintage jeans and embroidered Turkish slippers. She'll step out in Gucci loafers one day and John Lobb the next, not because of the name, but because both craft extraordinary shoes. Most women make purchases based on the label. They recognize a name, and that's enough. Linda shops with her fingertips and her standards. She'll handle a piece, and if the fabric falls short, she walks away, regardless of whose name sits on the label. I find this to be such an empowering reframe for anyone who spent years deferring to logos instead of trusting their own senses. You don't need to break the bank to adopt this mindset either. Beautiful merino and well-made cotton exist across every price range. What matters is teaching your hands and your eyes to recognize the gap between something that will keep its structure for years and something that will deteriorate after a couple of washes. And truthfully, once you begin shopping this way, there's no turning back. Accepting anything less starts to feel almost unbearable. Number 3, make your scarf the centerpiece. If one accessory captures who Linda Wright is, it's the scarf. She wears scarves the way other women wear statement jewelry, as the single detail that breathes life into an entire look. She'll start with a solid-colored cashmere turtleneck tucked into straight-leg jeans, and then layer on a stunning silk stole or a polka-dot cashmere scarf. And just like that, the outfit gains character and warmth and flow. What fascinates me is that most women tend to either ignore accessories completely or pile on too many at once, a necklace plus earrings plus a bracelet plus a handbag competing for attention. Linda takes the opposite route. She keeps the foundation of her look strikingly minimal and then allows one accessory, almost always the scarf, to hold all the expression. It's a kind of restraint. Understanding what to omit matters every bit as much as knowing what to include. And if you've never experimented with scarves, try starting with one lovely square scarf in a shade that warms your face. Let it drape gently, forget about perfecting the fold, and allow it to fall where it wants. You'll be struck by how dramatically it transforms even the plainest outfit. Now, everything I've walked you through so far, those are insights most women could land on through trial and error. But lessons 4 and 5 operate on a different level. These are the ones Linda needed decades to arrive at, and they're the ones I believe will stay with you long after this video ends. Number 4. Dress for evolution, not revolution. This phrase belongs to Linda herself, and I think it's perfect. She's spoken about how her mindset around purchasing has shifted with age. She says the urge to buy something that will only satisfy for a single season has completely left her. Instead, she shops for evolution. She keeps her finger on the pulse of what's happening. She remains current, but she never runs after trends. She refines her look gradually, with thought, with purpose. And I believe this is where so many women past 50 find themselves trapped. There's this unspoken expectation to either chase every new wave or surrender and keep recycling what you wore a decade ago. Linda demonstrates that a graceful middle ground exists. You can feel contemporary without being slave to trends. You can update your style without dismantling it. Perhaps this season you experiment with a slightly new cut in your jeans, or you introduce one unexpected color to your scarf rotation that you never would have reached for 5 years back. That's evolution. That's how Linda moves through fashion. And it means your wardrobe grows richer and more distinctly yours with every passing year, rather than feeling like somebody else's closet that you're rummaging through. If fashion feels overwhelming right now, I think this is the most liberating concept in this entire video. You don't need to overhaul everything. You just have to keep inching forward with intention. Number 5. Getting dressed is how you announce to the world that you're still here. This is the lesson I hinted at in the opening, and it's the reason Linda Wright keeps pulling me back whenever I need to remember what style means. Because for Linda, getting dressed was never rooted in vanity. It was never about performing for someone else or chasing the appearance of youth. Linda has said that she wants to give women of a certain age some ideas for dressing and remaining themselves in the face of fashion that is eternally changing. Remaining themselves. That line echoes in my mind, because I think that's what so many of us quietly fear as the years accumulate. Not the lines on our faces, not the silver in our hair, but fading from view, becoming someone the world simply passes by. And Linda, at 77, with her silver hair and her cashmere and her beautifully softened jeans, is living proof that invisibility is not inevitable. She isn't attempting to mirror anyone else. She isn't using trends or labels or anything borrowed as a shield. She rises each morning and dresses with extraordinary purposefulness, not because she's performing, but because getting dressed is an act of self-respect. It's her way of declaring to the world, I am here, I matter, I recognize myself, and I believe every one of us is worthy of that feeling. Whether you're stepping out for an evening with friends or wandering through the market on a Saturday morning, you deserve to wear something that makes you feel like the truest, most confident expression of who you are. That's not vanity, that's dignity. And Linda has been embodying that principle with grace for over 4 decades. You know that woman who stops you in your tracks, not because she's wearing anything loud, but because every detail about her feels deliberate and serene and entirely her own. That's the lesson Linda Wright leaves us with. It was never about accumulating more. It's never been about more. It's about having the clarity to know what doesn't belong. So here's what I want you to try. This week, remove one element from your go-to outfit. Strip away one accessory or one layer or one piece you've been wearing out of routine and notice whether the whole look actually opens up without it. I have a feeling you'll be surprised. And speaking of women who grasp the art of restraint, next week I'm bringing you the style lessons of someone who approaches things differently from Linda, more daring, more theatrical, but anchored by that same remarkable discipline. You won't want to skip that one. All right, everyone, that is everything I have on Linda Wright and her extraordinary philosophy of dressing as art. I hope this video gave you something useful and maybe a spark of inspiration. If it did, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you stay in the loop for what's coming next. I'd love to hear from you. What's that one garment in your closet you keep coming back to? The one that instantly makes you feel like yourself? Drop it in the comments because I really do want to know. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at the link below. As always, thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you all in the next one.